All right, so with our cell organelles, so if I break down organelles, what is the first part of that word tell me? That it is a organ, right? If I break it down, I see the word organ, right? So if I'm looking at our organs in our body, can you guys give me a few organs in our body? The heart, liver, lungs, right? Skin is technically an organ as well. Do they all have a particular function, all have a particular job? Yeah, right? So they all are going to have a particular job. So same deal here. I want you to think of the organelles kind of as an organ for the cell. Okay, so a really, really small organ that's going to do a particular function for that cell. Okay, so smallest living thing is the cell. So remember with our cell theory, we had all organisms are made of cells, right? So all living things are made of cells. The cell is the smallest building block of all living things, and that in order to generate new cells has to come from a pre-existing cell. Okay, so in order to generate new cells, our current cells must divide. So my skin cells will divide and make more skin. My muscle will divide and make more muscle. Blood will divide and make more blood, right? So the cell, smallest unit of a living organism. So our different organelles, so I'm going to try to slide this so you guys can see it as well, okay? All right, so first one we got, the cell wall. Does every organism in the world have a cell wall? Nope, we do not have cell walls. Hopefully you guys remember that one from 6th or 7th grade. We do not have a cell wall. The cell wall is a rigid structure that's going to surround the plasma membrane. We find it in plants, and we also find it in bacteria. So that cell structure, picture that kind of as your fence. It's an extra fence going around the property of the cell, okay? And so that's going to help provide some structure, some support to the actual cell, okay? So cell wall is your first one. You got plants and bacteria. Go ahead, check it. Supports, protects the plant. All right, next one is our cell membrane, or you might hear it as the plasma membrane, okay? So the plasma membrane or cell membrane is kind of like our skin. Does our skin let everything in? Does it let everything out from inside of us? No. So our cell membrane is what we call selectively permeable. So that means if you're very selective, if you're a selective mate, do you date everybody? No, you're selective, right? So the cell membrane is selectively permeable. That means it's going to let some things in and some things out, but not everything. Every single cell type, plants, animals, bacteria, have a cell membrane, okay? Our cell membrane is actually composed of a phospholipid bilayer. What do you think phospho, what element is that? Yeah, phosphorus. Lipid means there's what in the cell? Fats, right? And then bi means two layers. So it's a phospholipid bilayer. So answer me this, do I want fats in my cell membrane? What do we know about fats when I put them in water? They don't dissolve, right? What's most of our body? Water, right? So most of our body is water, so that's a good thing that they're not going to dissolve, okay? Next one up, how many people remember the mighty, mighty mitochondria? You guys did it, what was that, 6th grade? Mighty, mighty mitochondria. Everybody can tell me, it's the? Yes, I'm so proud of you. It's the powerhouse of the cell. But what does that actually mean? What does power do? It gives you energy, right? So our mitochondria is going to provide energy for our cells, okay? So they actually create what is called ATP. That's going to be cellular energy, energy that our cells can actually use, okay? So yes, everybody can tell me it's the powerhouse. But what does that actually mean? It means we need energy, okay? So plants, animals, we have that. Now we had said bacteria, is that prokaryotic or eukaryotic? Prokaryotic, right? So bacteria is prokaryotic. Do you see how this has an extra membrane? So we said pro rhymes with no. No nucleus, no membrane-bound organelles. So this is a membrane-bound organelle, so they do not get their energy from the mitochondria. Okay? So no for the bacteria. All right, next one up. What's the green glob? Do you guys know what that is? Which organelle is that? Remember? It's the chloroplast, right? So the chloroplast has chlorophyll, right? That's why most of our plants appear to be green, right? They have this extra green pigment. Chloroplast also provides energy. Do you guys remember how it makes energy? Photosynthesis. Where does that energy come from? The sun, right? Can I go outside, lay outside, and get all the energy I need for my cells just by laying in the sun? I mean, it sometimes feels like it, right? You lay outside, it's nice and sunny, you feel rejuvenated, okay? But my cells cannot generate energy like that. So would I find chloroplasts in animals? Nope. So we are not photosynthetic. I can't lay outside, get energy. How do I get my energy again? Food. I have to eat, right? Plants, they can generate their own. So I should only see the chloroplast in plants. If you take a look, there's another membrane surrounding it. So it's another membrane-bound organelle. Do prokaryotes have membrane-bound organelles? No, they do not. They don't. All right, next up for you to fill in your chart. Next one up. We have our Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is going to be the one that packages and secretes different cell products. Okay? Golgi apparatus is going to be found in both plants and animals. Remember, plants and animals are eukaryotic organisms. Plants and animals are eukaryotic because they do have a nucleus and they do have membrane-bound organelles. You might also see this as the Golgi body. Okay, so you might see Golgi body or Golgi apparatus. They're going to be the ones that packages and secretes our cell products. All right, you guys good with that one? That was a little bit longer. Got it? All right, next up we have the endoplasmic reticulum. And there are actually two parts of the endoplasmic reticulum. You have one region that is smooth and one region that is rough. So when you look under a microscope, this one, what do you think this is? Is this the smooth or the rough? Smooth, right? Whereas these ones, do you see all these studded things on there? Okay, all those studded things right there are the ribosomes, okay? So the endoplasmic reticulum, it extends out from the nuclear envelope and it folds. The rough one is studded with those ribosomes. Ribosomes, we'll talk about those eventually, are going to be important for protein synthesis. And then the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, no ribosomes, okay? Helps transport things throughout the cell, helps modify and change some of our actual ribosomes, send them on out on their way. So plants, animals have those as well. So check plants, animals, plants, animals. All right, next one is these centrioles. Centrioles are going to be important when our cell decides to divide, right? Remember we said if I injure my skin and I need to produce more skin, who makes it? The already existing living cells, so the skin cells. So they're going to divide, but in order to divide, we got to make sure we make an extra copy of the DNA, right? Because both cells need the instructions, okay? So the centrioles are going to be actually important with moving some of our chromosomes, moving the sister chromatids, so they get separated out into the two different cells. So this would be our centrioles. Go ahead and check you have them in animals. Check off that you have them in animals. So make sure you guys are filling in both the function and then also checking which cell types have each organelle. So make sure you're filling in the function and which cell type has those. Got it? Good. All right, next up is going to be the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. Let me see if I can slide that up for you guys. Can you see it? All right, so the cytoplasm is clear jelly-like material that is the inside of our cell. So if I look at that cytoplasm, the cytoplasm, is going to be everything on the inside minus the nucleus. Okay, so inside that plasma membrane, everything that's in there, the jelly-like substance, all the suspended organelles, that is my cytoplasm. We find it in both plants, animals, and bacteria. Plants, animals, and bacteria. Some chemical reactions are going to take place in the cytoplasm. Okay. But the main function is it kind of fills up the whole cell. It kind of provides the suspension, the actual structure to that cell. So it's kind of like a water balloon. If you fill up a water balloon, the balloon is the actual plasma membrane. The water on the inside is going to be your cytoplasm. All right, next up is that nucleus. We should remember the nucleus. The nucleus is the one that houses all of our genetic information, okay? So Mrs. Riggs has it listed as it's kind of the brain of the cell. Now, do you guys know that the DNA that's in my skin is the same DNA that's in my muscle? It's the same DNA that's in my nerves. All the exact same DNA. Is my DNA exactly the same as yours? Nope, it's really similar, but it's not exactly the same. Okay? So when we think about DNA, can you guys picture DNA kind of as a textbook? And then each chapter is a particular type of cell. So like skin, only have to read the chapter on the skin. So they're only focusing on that portion of the DNA. Okay? So we have that nucleus, it houses all of our genetic material. Each cell reads different parts of that DNA in order to get its function, okay? So like Brennan's muscles are like telling its thumbs like, go, 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 right? And his nerves are sensing every single time he touches his phone. And eventually puts it in his pocket, right? For sure, okay? So we know the nucleus, only eukaryotic organisms do have a nucleus. So our plants and animals. Bacteria who are prokaryotic do not. Ribosomes, next up, we find them in both plants, animals, and bacteria. They are not membrane bound, hence why we find them in bacteria as well. They are important for helping us make proteins. And when we talk about protein synthesis, we'll look at them a little bit closer. But those ribosomes are going to be the ones that help make our proteins. And we got 3 more, and then that's it. 3 more, almost there, guys. All right, next up are our vacuoles. They're going to be the ones who are going to help store food, store enzymes, possibly store some waste. Can you guys tell that picture? Is that a plant cell or is that an animal cell? How do you know it's a plant? It's green. I have, what are these again? Chloro. And then what's on the outside? A cell wall. So automatically I know it's a plant. Look, what is that again? Nucleus. So I automatically know it's prokaryotic or eukaryotic? Eukaryotic, good. All right. So plant cells, they have this large central vacuole. We do not have a large central vacuole in our own animal cells. So for us, they're usually really, really small, whereas plants has one giant one. What do plants do if you don't water them? First, they're going to go, And then what happens when you water them?
They die. They dry out.
No, they come back to life.
Oh,
Jeez, you just killing all your plants? You're not going to give them any water? They can come back. Just got to give them water, right? So this vacuole here in the middle is really important because it actually provides what we call turgor pressure. It helps keeps the cells nice and full, right? It keeps the cell kind of pushed against that cell wall, which is why plants are able to stand upright. But once you take away all the water, you don't water it, they're going to flop back down. But if you water them again, they come back. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, lysosomes. Lysosomes. These are kind of like the trash collectors, okay? They're going to take any types of waste, so old organelles, food, viruses, bacteria, and it's going to expel it outside. So it's called exocytosis. Exo means exit. It's going to leave the cell, right? Just like our body gets rid of our waste, right? We don't want the waste to build up in our cells because it's just like you guys, if all your waste builds up in you, you don't feel good, right? So we want our cells to be able to function properly. So plants have some, animals as well have some. They are membrane bound though, so bacteria do not have them. Do not. So plants, animals, not bacteria. All right, last one. I don't know if it's going to go. Is it going to go? We have our vesicles. We have our vesicles. Vesicles are going to help carry our proteins. Let's see. Is it going to go? Helps carry our proteins, our lipids around within the cell. They can merge with the plasma membrane and send things out to the outside part of the cell, as well as the inside. Let's see, there we go. Got it. So our vesicles, if you take a look, they do have an extra little membrane. Their membrane looks very similar to the plasma membrane. And when it's ready to get rid of the stuff on the inside, it'll merge and send it out. Plants, animals, again, they're membrane bound, have them because they are eukaryotic. Prokaryotic organisms do not. Okay? If you look really close at this picture, do you see our cell membrane? What did I call that? It was a really fancy term. Phospholipid bilayer. So, what is the phospho part? Phosphorus. Lipid means there's what in the cell wall or in the cell membrane? What? Has fat. Bi means how many layers? Two. So if you look, here's our phospholipid bilayer. So there's a good picture to show you the two parts of the actual plasma membrane. Okay. All right, so you guys need to turn that in. So Mrs. Riggs has that as a submission. So will you go ahead, hit